listener. Suyana here, reading Chapter 10 from the All-Inclusive Approach, The Art of Divine Remembrance. Chapter 10 entitled, Body, Mind, Emotions, Spirit. Each of us possesses 4 components that make up our sense of self: body, mind, emotions, and spirit. The body is the most dense and physical expression of self, and from it we move into the more subtle expressions of mind, emotions, and spirit, or our personal energetic signature in this world. All 4 aspects are important to our overall sense of well-being. However, most of us neglect one or more areas, believing we lack the time, energy, resources, or motivation to address them. What if we didn't have to make an effort to get or stay physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually well? What if we could appreciate that as we move into alignment with our true essence and ground into the body we inhabit, we naturally adopt more health-supporting decisions and habits? It's a byproduct of presence. What if embracing all aspects of yourself, relaxing into your physical form, and consciously breathing through moments of adversity or excitement was the ultimate recipe for happiness and health? Sounds great, right? But what do you do in the meantime when you are still resisting what is, or trying to change yourself or your circumstances to suit your preferences? Answer: you practice the art of self-care to establish healthy habits and bring attention and intention to loving and nurturing yourself. For me, the art of self-care includes dancing regularly to alleviate physical tension in my body and to connect with a form of self-expression I enjoy. I also make it a priority to drink plenty of water and eat whole fruits and vegetables consistently. If I neglect either of these practices, as well as the breathing practice I highlighted earlier, I feel irritable, ungrounded, scattered, and experience pain in my neck and back. When I prioritize these self-care tools as acts of love and adoration toward myself, I feel centered, relaxed, alert, and open to the dynamic experiences of being alive. Having oscillated between self-care and self-neglect many times, I know firsthand that one is far more supportive than the other. Yet I can empathize with anyone struggling with consistency in these areas. In moments of self-neglect, I've noticed that I am often avoiding or denying something within myself that I don't feel equipped or willing to witness and embrace. Now that conscious breathing has become a standard practice in my daily life, those lulls of self-neglect guide me back to self-care with every present inhale and exhale. Most of us approach health from one of 4 primary perspectives: body-focused, actions such as dietary choices, exercise, massage, body work modalities, and general physical well-being. Second, mind-focused, positive thinking techniques, hypnosis, talk therapy, meditation, affirmation, and intellectual approaches to achieve optimal well-being. Third, emotion-focused, following what feels good, avoiding what doesn't, and modulating well-being based on emotional states. Fourth, spirit and energy-focused. Practices like Reiki or energy healing, metaphysical concepts, and frequency-based exercises such as listening to singing bowls or binaural beats. Each of these approaches can support your journey to achieve and maintain optimal health. However, because inclusivity and balance are key, a holistic approach that integrates all aspects of yourself tends to be the most sustainable long-term. Even though each of us may have a dominant or more comfortable approach, combining practices ensures consistency and fluidity throughout your daily activities. For example, if you say to yourself in the mirror 20 times, "I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy," a fantastic affirmation to incorporate into your day. And then head out the door to drive through McDonald's for a bacon, egg, and cheese meal with a jumbo coffee because you need your daily dose of jumpstart juice. You may be inadvertently counteracting the statement you made moments before. How can you be all those things and still need a large dose of caffeine to get your day started? This juxtaposition can prompt reflection. And now, Imagine you say the same affirmation and then go into a Reiki session with the intention of having another human being heal you from an ailment that has created dis-ease and discomfort in your body for many years. Similarly, this may seem incongruent to the inner self. How can these activities align with the truth of those affirmations if you still rely on external sources for what you already claim to possess within you? So do you immediately stop drinking coffee and give up Reiki or energy sessions? Not necessarily. An inclusive approach to this process would look something like this. You say the affirmation in the mirror and ask yourself what you wish to eat for breakfast before work. An answer comes back that a number 2 at McDonald's would really hit the spot. You decide whether this inclination is in harmony with the goals and intentions you have set for yourself in regard to your regular health-promoting habits. Let's say, for the sake of continuing with our example, that you notice you are running late or just really want the number 2 at McDonald's, and you go ahead with your decision. In this scenario, your choice becomes intentional rather than an automatic completion of an ingrained routine. This is important because a first step toward lasting change requires accountability for your choices. Remember, the greatest power we possess is our free will, our freedom to choose. A McDonald's employee hands you your favorite meal. You smile and take a moment to be grateful. In your mind, you thank the people who prepared the meal, the transportation avenues that got it from production to manufacturing to the store, and the trees that made the paper cup, bag, and wrapping for your food. You feel grateful for the meal you are going to enjoy, for the freedom you have to choose that meal, pay for the food, and taste buds to enjoy it. Trusting your body to process the food to the best of its ability, taking what it can use and eliminating the rest. You then speak the affirmation, all the activities and behaviors I engage in reflect the truth that I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy before you begin to eat. By aligning your affirmation with conscious gratitude, you restate your intention in the context of a behavior. Feeling grateful and hungry, you savor the food, drink the coffee, and go about your day. Through the practice of gratitude, you can reinstill the idea that you are powerful and loving and can make conscious decisions for yourself. By acknowledging the innate intelligence of your body and its ability to discern what is useful and what is not, you are harmonizing with the belief that you are strong, perfect, and harmonious. By enjoying this meal in a conscious and present way, you are, like the present moment, in balance with the truth that you are whole and happy. This integration of intention, action, and awareness demonstrates an inclusive approach where each practice supports and enriches the other. One of 2 things may result from doing this. You may evolve beyond certain behaviors that no longer resonate with your affirmed intentions. Alternatively, you may become more mindful and present with the activities you are engaging in. Either way, both outcomes are evidence of your continuous expansion and cultivate the habit of conscious presence. Now let's revisit the example of you going to a Reiki session to alleviate some chronic back pain and see it from the inclusive approach. You arranged for the appointment earlier, so the choice you have now is to set your intention for the session. You can, of course, choose to cancel the appointment or not, but let's assume that you have no desire to cancel the appointment and are committed to going to the session. What constitutes a supportive, inclusive approach to attending a healing session? First, to maintain alignment with your affirmation, you acknowledge that any healing taking place will be a result of you and your present level of receptivity to release the pain and receive the message associated with the ailment. As imbalances are messages from the body and opportunities to grow in self-love, then you imagine the spaces prepared thoughtfully with your comfort and sense of security in mind. Next, you offer thanks to yourself, the practitioner, and source for bringing you together to collectively facilitate the healing process in your beingness. Finally, set the intention to relax and receive well-being, peace, and alignment throughout your session. Alternatively, you might choose to repeat a mantra, affirming that you are open and receptive to healing. From this perspective, you are not giving your authority or power to another person. You are recognizing the infinite power and well-being that you can access and are choosing to co-create with another person to receive that balance and increase your overall well-being. The inclusive approach puts the power back in your hands while honoring all the circumstances, events, catalysts, actions, people, and places you experience that have an effect on your personal growth and development. Now that you are intentional with your participation in this session, you relax and receive the gifts of this exchange. Once the session is complete, you can offer gratitude for the perfection of this session and acknowledge that the outcome is and always will be for your highest and best. I know for me, my relationship with the pain and tension in my back once felt like evidence of my incompleteness. I would think, how could I be whole and perfect if I continue to have chronic pain? My pain was a constant confirmation that I had failed to heal completely. For years, every healing modality I implemented was used in an effort to fix me. I had the perception that I was broken and would know I was fixed when the pain was gone. Some people have this relationship with cancer or autoimmune diseases. Others believe that an end to their depression or feelings of isolation will be the evidence that they require to see themselves as perfect and whole expressions of the divine. Our conditional relationship with ourselves and our challenges in life becomes the very blessing that God is using to heal conditional love and acceptance in an aspect of itself, which is you and me. When I can feel my pain and say with truth and honor that I embrace this expression of Source and welcome the transformation that is occurring as a result of its participation in my life, I am free to be with it without an agenda. I can love the pain my neck feels to honor the vessel I am privileged to embody and be the witness I am honored to be. This is the potential we all possess, the power we can all express when we allow ourselves to respect these challenges as Source. My neck pain is God, not an obstacle to my Godness. So what can you hold dear now, knowing that it is an expression of God's presence in your life? What if you began to perceive all obstacles, hardships, and troubles in your life as messages of transformation offered lovingly to you by the God inside? What if you chose to interpret an overactive mind as an invitation to move your body? Feeling emotionally unstable or sensitive as evidence that you are moving through some energetic shifts needs space to integrate and require time alone to reconnect with your inner reality. Physical restlessness or boredom as a sign that you are putting too much attention on your mental content, the future, or the past, and not enough intention on grounding yourself in the present. All of this feedback is an invitation to stop, sit, breathe, and check in with yourself. It only takes a moment to see what aspect of your dynamic nature may benefit from additional intention and tender, loving care. The art of self-care helps you develop a holistic relationship with all the aspects of yourself by valuing each one for the contribution it offers to the whole. Here is a daily self-care practice you can implement to anchor in this philosophy. Start your morning by drinking 16 ounces of water. As you sip, take a moment to appreciate this life-giving element. Imagine the water seeping into every cell of your body, hydrating and revitalizing every inch of you. Visualize it carrying oxygen, nourishment, and vitality throughout your system, while simultaneously flushing out toxins, whether physical and mental or emotional, creating more space for well-being, harmony, and peace. Aim to drink 60 to 80 ounces of pure water daily to support your overall health and vitality. This can also be with herbal teas, non-caffeinated ideally. Hydration is a simple yet powerful act of self-care that nourishes both body and mind. It can also offer a wonderful tool to become present and aware of the now. This chapter was a difficult one for me to get through this week. Maybe you could hear it in my voice. Maybe you didn't pick up on it at all. But I'm at a point of many decisions and choices to be making. And the implication of all those decisions is weighing heavy on my mind. So moving through this content and reading the chapter that I wrote almost a decade ago put a lot of inquiry into the topic for me. The topic of aligning all of these different aspects of myself from two vantage points. The vantage point of knowing that everything will unfold perfectly, and I'm still a participant in the process. And at times that participation can feel like pressure, uncertainty, overwhelm, confusion, apathy, frustration, excitement, curiosity, enthusiasm. And I'm sharing this with you because it's important to me to continue to reiterate authentically that this idea that somehow we're going to at one point get there and not have any more future theirs to get to internally. Perhaps that's a experience some people have. It's not one that I've seen in anyone I've ever met, and it's not one I experience in myself. We still have the unexplored to navigate. We still have the unknown to interact with. And it's prevalent now in such a dramatic way because we have access to information from so many different parts of the world, from so many different vantage points, from so many different applications. It can be all consuming. And we're entering into an eclipse season right now. If you're listening to this as I'm recording it, we're days away from an eclipse, February 2026. And I'm feeling it intensely. I know that I'm in a massive shift yet again. And I know that because I've been through so many massive transformations. And those massive internal transformations that I've experienced in my life have often been coupled with major life changes, moving to a new place, starting a new job, getting a new home, all simultaneously, over and over and over again. Changing careers, changing the language of the places that I'm living, like moving to a foreign country, doing it as a single parent with a young child, feeling that every decision I make somehow was going to be hugely impactful, not just to myself, but to someone else. And yet I knew that this was the story of my life, to be outside of the conditioning that I had been offered on who and how I was supposed to operate in the world. I knew at a really early age that that wasn't how my story was going to unfold. And so while I was reading through this chapter, and you might hear it now that I'm saying it in the discussion too, this quietness inside of me that was a companion to all of this disruptive energy of change, and at times vacillating between the two of them, almost to a point of distortion and disorientation, where at moments I would be so excited, enthusiastic, and seek grounding because those feelings almost were overwhelming, and then slide into these bouts of sobbing and devastation from the weight of not knowing what my motivation, what if the choices I was making were aligning with the values that I was and am focusing so intensely on expressing in the world. And I know that I'm not the only one. So that's why I'm sharing. I know I'm not the only one in this particular dynamic in their life. And if you're in a similar dynamic, I'm wanting to say I acknowledge you, and I would love to connect with you. Whether you leave a comment or a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click on the website that gives you the opportunity to do a session or a discussion with me. However you want to connect, we're already connecting energetically, and that's beautiful. But the invitation to take an action step is here. Until we meet again, be well and enjoy the now.